Hello and welcome back to another video, and this week we're going to be talking about one of my favourite topics ever, which is art supplies. So I could go on about art supplies forever. As you can see right now, I'm in my studio and right behind me I've got my big trolley which has all of my art supplies in. I could just spend hours and hours going on about this all day, every day. So I really wanted to share with you all of my favourite art supplies which I absolutely love. I absolutely love buying and looking at art supplies which sometimes my bank account doesn't thank me for. For example, yesterday I went to Leeds and ended up in an art shop, but I was quite good and only bought some essential things I actually really needed, like some pencils I was running out of. So I thought I'd create this video to introduce you to some of my absolute favourites. But of course, it goes without saying that you don't need any particular art supplies to be a better artist. Like, you can just work with whatever you've got, like literally just a biro and a pen is all you need. But these are just some of my favourites that I'd love to share with you. Because I work in like mixed media, it gives me a lot of experience of using different art supplies on a daily basis. Like, for one piece of work, I use different art supplies. For one single piece, like, I use my watercolours, pencils, acrylics, pens, you name it, anything I can throw on there, I probably will. I've also spent absolutely years putting this collection of art supplies together. Like, I think the first thing I'm going to introduce you to is my watercolour paints. I've had them since I was about 13 years old. So we've been building this collection over many years. So obviously there's no pressure to have loads of art supplies, because like I said, it does not make you a better artist. Anyway, let's get into some of my favourite art supplies. First up, we have the Winsor & Newton Cotman watercolours. I think this one is a half pan set that features 45 different colours, and I've had it for absolute years, maybe around the age of about 13, I think. Over time, actually, I've only had to replace a few of the pans, which is so easy to do. Like, you can just go online or into various art shops, and as you can see, I probably do need to replace a few of them quite soon because they are running quite low, but overall I've not had to replace too many. I use watercolour mainly in the base of my work to provide a wash and a splash of colour in the early stages, and it's definitely worth investing in a good set that provides a very pigmented paint. Now we have brusho inks. I was introduced to these in high school, and basically these are powdered inks. So you open the tub and inside is a little tub of powder, and then once you add water to it, it kind of explodes into inky goodness. As you can see, here we have the pot and we're taking the ink out, and I've already applied water to the paper, and now I'm adding the powdered ink to it, and you can see how it bursts into colour. Obviously you could just leave it like that, but I often get a paintbrush and apply more water to certain areas to make it really spread together. The only thing I'd say about these inks though is that they really do stain your hands, and if you've got a lot of ink on your hands, then the ink will be there for a couple of days, so you go around with like blue hands. So I should have thought about that before I filmed this, because I should have filmed it at the end, as for the rest of the video I've kind of got green fingers, which isn't ideal, but I'm sure you'll let me off. Now we've got my Caran d'Ache Neo Colour pastels, and they're the ones that activate with water. So I recently actually made a whole entire video about these because they're quite new to my little art collection. So you can check that out if you're interested and want a better insight rather than a quick overview of what they're like. So I got this set here, which I love, many different colours, and they're just great to draw with. Like, they're so textured and they've got so much colour. And then the best thing is, like I said, that they react to water. So you can add water and make them a bit less pigmented and like blend into each other, and they are just a dream. I love adding them towards the end of an illustration to make like certain areas really pop out. So say if I'm doing like a big meadow of flowers, it's good to choose colours and flowers to really stand out by using the Neo colour pastels. And here is the little result. Now, maybe a less exciting material to use to talk about in my art supply video, but I'm going to be talking about this Daler Rowney mixed media paper. So this is my all-time favourite paper, and without paper I'd have nothing to draw on, although of course you can draw on canvases and any surface really, but if you want to draw on paper, this is my go-to paper. It's great because it's really thick, so it can withstand a lot of water, because when I'm using things like brush out inks and watercolour, you naturally apply a lot of water, so this paper can withstand all that, which is exactly what I need. Over the years, I've been using this paper for so many years, and here are a few examples that I just had lying around to hand of illustrations that I've used this paper recently. I think I love this paper because, like I said, it's nice and thick, but also it's not too textured. It's quite smooth, but it's still got a tiny bit of texture. I find when paper's a bit too textured for me, it just doesn't go right with coloured pencils and stuff, because I usually add coloured pencils to provide the texture, and I feel like it just doesn't look as good if the surface is super, super textured. So, for my very, very last one, I have my fine liner pens. These fine liner pens, they can be any brand really. This is one brand that I particularly buy and go back to. The only thing I have to say about them is that make sure they're waterproof, because if you want to add anything like paint to them after, then they'll bleed if you don't have waterproof ones. So any fine liner pens, as long as they're waterproof. So they're great because they come in a variation of sizes and thicknesses. So some are great for super small details, and some are great if you want to apply it to a larger area, because with a tiny nib you'd be there for absolutely ages, which is not what we want. I love fine liner pens just to bring out all the details in a final piece, and there's many techniques you can do with them, like stippling or cross hatching. It provides different tones and variations in shade in like a really playful way. I usually apply this towards the end of the picture, and it just really brings everything to life. So there we have it, my top 5 favourite art supplies. It was really, really hard to like select each one and whittle it down to just 5, but I didn't want to make this video too long and drawn out, so those 5 it was. There's of course many other art supplies that I could think of recommending to you. Like, something that comes to the top of my mind is my Tombow brush markers. They're great for sketching. If I'm ever going away on holiday or anything, or travelling, I always take them with me because they're great to apply on the paper and then add fine liners on top. And it's just such like an easier way to kind of create a paint-like thing without having to take your paints with your little watercolour brushes, which is still great, but like it's a bit more faffy. And I'd also love for you to comment down below your absolute favourite art supplies. I absolutely love hearing recommendations for other artists as well, and I would be really interested to see what you use and love, because like I said, I just love art supplies, so I'm always willing to check out new ones. Not only will I be able to check them out, other people can check them out too, so you can really spread the love for these art supplies. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely, lovely week, and I will hopefully see you next week with another new video.